everybody.
I am Fred,
I'm Anna.
and this is a story about Yellow Boomerang.
What made me want to start, I don't think I really had a choice. It was just it was part of life. It just happened. I'm not a sit around and do nothing kind of person. When someone needs help, I try to dive in and help. I try to do what I can to help.
Anna, my partner, we have known each other for the past 15 years. We have volunteered and done a variety of different work with homeless shelters in the DMV area.
The Afghans arriving in the US suddenly and unplanned presented a huge need. Fred actually introduced me to someone who's in that area. She had some families that needed help. In our work with the Afghan community, one of our donors and volunteers happened to be in the legal field. And when I mentioned that I would love to see this become a real organization, not just something that's happening out of my garage, she said, I can help you. If you really want to do it, let me know. So I talked to Fred.
One of the things that we wanted to do, we wanted to expand the scope of our work and kind of be able to reach out to more people. Because of that, we decided to start another organization that the mission and the vision of that organization would be a little bit more expansive of what we had done in the past in our previous volunteer work.
We talked about it and we said, hey, let's do it. And especially if we have a professional that's willing to help us. She helped us, she made it happen. And somehow within a blink of an eye, boom, we have a real organization.
Basically, our tagline for Yellow Boomerang is empowering our community, of doing things for the members of the community who are not as fortunate as us, and to be able to help them reach their goals.
I feel like I grew up, I was a little kid playing around and now it's a real thing.
Yellow Boomerang has become a culmination of my desire to do what I can and what I want to do to help the community. Obviously, it's a startup, so we have started with minor projects because everything needs money and volunteers and time. So we have been very selective in the things that we start to do that's very close and dear to our hearts.
The work we've done with Yellow Boomerang has, I want to say, changed my life in certain ways. On a personal basis, it's brought charity into my home on a very real kind of way. It's not just about telling the kids that they need to split their birthday present and donate some to the firehouse, but now they're actually learning about it. They're seeing it, they're experiencing it.
Frankie and Cyrus, Anna's kids, I have seen them from the day that they were born. So obviously I have a great relationship with them and I love them. The interesting thing has been because a lot of stuff that we do happens at Anna's house. I mean, her garage is famous in the neighborhood, that if there's a day that Amazon driver or FedEx or UPS doesn't stop by, they get worried, because she's always ordering something or people are delivering things in her driveway, and then her garage is basically, there are no cars in there. It's full of boxes from Walmart, Amazon.
My name's Frankie.
My name is Cyrus.
All the donations make me very frustrated, but also very happy because I play around with my brother and we find secret spots between the boxes.
Sometimes it's hard to get around the house and sometimes it's hard to get into the garage sometimes and you grab stuff from the very corner. For example, taking my bike out, I have to be careful for the fragile stuff.
God, I love them. Those poor things.
Hi, I'm Bedad Benham. My role at Yellow Boomerang depends on the day, but mostly I am the #1 volunteer. I do as I'm told, but I support Anna and Fred in pretty much every project and behind the scenes as they need me.
So we just recently, 4 years ago, we moved into our home. We started the Afghan community collection 3 years ago.
Everything occurs here, so at any given time, there's stacks of things everywhere. It impacts our life in that way, but it's also a lot of energy in our house constantly. People are coming and going. There's always something going on, which is wonderful in that sense. I have a much better connection with our community that's involved in helping us out. I've gotten to meet a lot of wonderful people, And then some of the programs are near and dear to me as well that we work on.
Within the first year that we lived in this house, we really hadn't finished setting it up. And to this day, it's still not set up. My kids just think this is the way life is, to just have boxes all over the place. I've seen them try to, draw maps. My daughter draws maps of the house of the way it looks, and then I'll move boxes. She's like, Mommy, you messed up my map.
One of my favorite projects were one of the first projects that I kind of helped with a lot, like delivering to the 9 Afghan families.
All they had was rugs and a few chairs. And when we gave them all of the things, they were so happy.
I think about it like, if I woke up tomorrow and I had lost my house, my clothes, couldn't contact my family anymore, and oh, by the way, I'm in a brand new country with a totally different culture, speaks a different language, like, how would I feel? How would that work for me? So the Afghan Community Project was just very powerful.
Hi, my name is Saeed Pacha Latoon. I was a kind of like Afghan community leader, and I volunteering with the Yellow Boomerang, helping my Afghan communities and as well as Yellow Boomerang, to receive the essential assistance. Other important thing was, I'm also kind of beneficiary of the Yellow Boomerang, received all those things.
I met Pasha at a hotel that was housing 63 Afghan families. They had been living in military post tents, basically, for many months, and now they were redirected to the Bethesda area. They came to Maryland. They were just families living in a hotel.
I left behind in Afghanistan my extended family, and I also left behind my wealth, my business, and my job, and the investment that I have done in Afghanistan. And I arrived just with one bag of clothes, a family of 6, me, my wife, and 4 kids. When we arrived, to UAE, said we were in a military camp, and then from military camp they have brought us, put us in Bethesda in the Marriott Hotel.
Luckily, this hotel had kitchenettes, but the pots were this tiny, the refrigerators are this tiny, just not designed for this size of family. We went over to see what we can do, and out pops this young man named Pasha who speaks English, which was very helpful at the time.
The generous assistance and help that we received from Yellow Boomerang, was very essential, life-saving items that we shouldn't be focusing and stressing about our essential food stuff, or including they help us with the halal food, they help us with the fruit, they help us with the vegetables, and as well they help us with the wheat flour, that we can make food inside the hotel that is Afghan culturally accepted.
He wants to help, he wants to do whatever. He would never let me carry a box. He helped translate with all the families. We decided to do family interviews to really see what each family needs and wants. And Pasha sat down with us with every interview and asked questions and translated for us, helped measure feed. He's just a giver at heart, and I'm so thankful to have met him through this process.
I intend, to continue working as a volunteer with Yellow Boomerang.
One of the people that I'm very excited for our donors and our volunteers and our community to meet is a gentleman that we'll call Omar. Omar is an Afghan refugee. He came to this country with his wife and 5 children. He struggled just like everybody else. Unfortunately, due to political standing and family back home, we felt much more comfortable not using his real name.
Well, not only for me, that's not easy for anyone leaving home, leaving country. It's the kind of feelings. I still remember that moment that when I was leaving home, and that cries, the tears that I was seeing in my mom's and every individual family's eyes, that I was leaving home.
They were actually the first family that we helped, which is, kind of near and dear to my heart. But it was just, he did everything right. He put his head down, he took the yucky jobs, he made it happen. He worked 3 jobs at once to make sure his family had food at the table.
Without Boomerang, that was, of course, not as easy, and would have not been possible for me to this position, or to at the current status where I am. like as I said, connection. When I get to here, I get to know that connections. I mean, networking is the major part. Finding a job in your profession, that was how easy the Boomerang helped me in that, connecting me with the people that I am now in my profession, and I'm having my job. Because of that job, I'm covering almost all of my expenses. This transition without Boomerang, starting with the job finding, with the initial support I received from Boomerang, because the major part was supporting family that was covered by Boomerang.
And Yellow Boomerang is like as a family member jumping in and helping them to restart and settle into US. So, and there is like, as a Muslim, there is a saying, if you save one life, it means so you save the whole mankind.
Coming to the US and then starting a new life, that was, as always, is a challenge. As I said, that made it a little easier for me when I get connected with Boomerang.
I don't even know how to put it into words. It was scary. It was scary to think that a family could go through this. So that was, that had its own special meaning, that we can help these families at least begin to live a new life.
My name is Riley. I'm a volunteer who helps out with Yellow Boomerang on projects.
Riley is a neighbor that heard about some of our work through a listserv email. Since then, she has raised funds for us. She has done a bake sale for us. She has been to my house sorting and organizing.
I really like the holiday projects where we buy food for families like refugees who need food for the holiday. I think that's really fun to do. Holidays
have always been a great time of the year for me. I'm very happy. Everybody is in a good mood. There's good music. You go to the malls, family gatherings and everything else. And you forget that there are people that are not as fortunate, and maybe holiday times are the worst time of the year for them because they feel like they don't have as much as other people, or they don't have any family around.
Holidays are personally like my favorite part of the year, especially because of the food. So I think it's really great that other families can get to jump in on that even if they can't afford food.
And I swear to God, I enjoy giving more than receiving, because when you give, it just gives such more pleasure to you than when you receive a gift from somebody. So doing that with about 750 different families, it's happiness on steroids and at the right time of the year.
Working with Yellow Boomerang touches one of the things that's important to me, which is working with children and on the education side, and now also on just providing the resources that they need.
I really like the work that we do with the kids at the school, elementary schools that we've started.
My name is Sarah Cohen. Yellow Boomerang has been really important to me. I am the school counselor at Rock Creek Forest Elementary School. When I got connected with Yellow Boomerang, I realized that they had some resources to be able to help provide our school with some things that were above and beyond what students might need.
Sarah Cohen, she is a contact that was introduced to us through another mutual contact who has been helping public school system in Montgomery County. We were asking for somebody that we can go talk to and find out what are some of the needs at schools right now, because we wanted to try to address an area that schools need help, but it hasn't been addressed yet, rather than trying to do something that somebody else is doing.
So at our school, we're provided with lots and lots of materials for students. The unique thing about Yellow Boomerang is they asked what we needed that the students would love that is not a typical recess item. So our kids got these huge Jenga towers, this massive Connect 4 game, chess games that they can play out during recess. So I really appreciate that Yellow Boomerang has asked us what it is that students might like to do other than the typical things like running around and playing.
Because a lot of times kids that are not able to go outside at their recess, they end up staying inside. They didn't really have anything to play with, so they just sit around. So rather than whatever the recess time is, let's say it's an hour, for them to use something creative, to be playful and to let loose, but at the same time stay engaged. And we were like, okay, that sounds really great, and this is a downtime that they have, and we can really help out with that. And so we started working with her. She kind of held our hand. Let's try this. And then we talked with her. We said, hey, we give you different games and board games.
I also really liked the backpack project where me and my 3 friends packed backpacks for kids who needed school supplies and backpacks before the school year began.
At the beginning of last year, when I first got connected to Anna and the team at Yellow Boomerang in the summer, they had asked me kind of this recess idea came to be. And then they said, you know what else might you need? Montgomery County does a great job providing students with school supplies and everything that they need to be set up on the first day of school for success. One of the really exciting things though is when that kid comes in the first day of school to have a brand new shiny backpack.
It's a kid-led project. It's led by Riley and Cyrus and Frankie and Asher, who is Riley's brother.
We set up the project inside Anna's house, and basically there were backpacks, and some were like Spider-Man, others were like tie-dye. So we decided, okay, this one looks like it's meant for a teenage girl. This Paw Patrol one looks like it's meant for a 5-year-old boy starting kindergarten. So then we kind of organized them from what we thought younger kids would like to what we thought older kids would like.
I think the backpacks are the most adorable project we do. And they came in, sat at my dining room table, planned out a whole project. Like, that was so cool to see kids, and then all the volunteers were kids with adults support, if you will, but just, having the kids. So that's very meaningful.
To my surprise and to the surprise of the students inside the backpack, they had materials that they could actually bring home. So instead of just having school supplies at school, these students now at home have packs of paper and crayons and rulers, and it makes doing homework and participating in projects a lot more accessible to everybody. And additionally, just this past week, Yellow Boomerang provided us with tons and tons of water bottles as the weather's heating up and kids are in need of, having water bottles to carry water around with them to stay healthy and to stay hydrated.
It's directly impacting individual people, and you can see the impact it has directly with them. Like, you can see it in their eyes when they get a new backpack and new school supplies. To see a joy in a child's eyes to get school supplies for me is wonderful. Toys always make kids happy, but to get kids excited and happy about school in a way that's going to impact their emotional and mental health, that's been probably one of the most meaningful projects for them.
So one of the things that we're really working with at our school is equity and making all kids feel like they have access. And there are a lot of children that are struggling with mental health after the pandemic, and that's not just an issue in this county, it's worldwide, right? And it's all over the nation. And one of the really amazing things about this program is that when students feel confident, when they feel like they look like their peers, when they feel like they fit in with their peers and that they're all the same, they just feel more confident. I know that my kids, even though my children are fortunate enough to have backpacks and to be able to start the school year like that, that's not the case for every student. And this is not something that they need, but it's a want. And I feel like it's really nice to be able to give a gift to a child that really wants this thing to make them feel included, to make them feel seen.
My name is Scott Wilkerson. My role in Yellow Boomerang is unofficially Special Events Coordinator. And I say that because I don't have an official role, but over the years as I've gotten to know Anna, that's been the role that I've played, particularly as an advisor and helping and facilitate, organize, and orchestrate certain events that she's had on behalf of Yellow Boomerang.
I wish everybody could meet Scott Wilkerson and his family. Scott and Krista live next door to me. I'd like to think they do this by choice, but I feel like they're just next door, so they're forced to do it. But Scott and Krista have 2 daughters, Kira and Maya, and the 4 of them, it's just incredible to see an entire family that's so dedicated to helping people.
So Yellow Boomerang means quite a bit to myself and to my family. I think since we've gotten involved in Yellow Boomerang, we've noticed a lot more about the community that we didn't know before. I think living in this area, Bethesda, Maryland, you tend to kind of fall into a rhythm and you fall into a bit of a trap where you think everyone's has the same backgrounds as you and kind of has the same kind of jobs and same kind of incomes as you. Working with Yellow Boomerang's really kind of opened up our perspective, both for myself, my wife, my kids.
Their family was the first recipient of what we're hoping to be an annual award called Champion for Change. And it really goes to the family that dedicates the most effort to our volunteer work, which is really hard because we have a lot of really good hardworking volunteers. But they did put together the block party last year and they did an amazing job. I can't thank them enough.
So I've worked with Anna and Fred on a few projects for Yellow Boomerang, but by far my favorite and the one that I've been most involved in is the Yellow Boomerang Block Party for Good.
They are the reason we had our first block party last year. Scott wanted his daughters to get involved in a bigger project.
I will actually say, I think one night it was either my inspiration or Anna and I co-inspiration together came up with the idea that wouldn't it be fun to host a block party here. And since we're next door neighbors, it's our block. The idea kind of started as just that, but then kind of grew over time. We had our first inaugural block party for good last October, and it was a beautiful fall day. I remember everything from the fire truck to, I believe, 2 bounce houses to cotton candy and popcorn machine and arts and crafts and 2 live bands. And it was a great event. I think we had at least a couple hundred attendees, as well as recipients of benefits from Yellow Boomerang attend. We had a great time. And from what I remember, I believe we raised around $20,000 from that event. So I do feel very proud about that and hoping we can do it again in years to come.
Many people want to help, but they just don't really have an opportunity, or they don't know an organization that they can really get involved in. At Yellow Boomerang, everything that we do is done in the neighborhood by using neighbors and sending messages to the neighborhood and family members. So the involvement from all the individuals that help us, not only financially, but also giving their time, has been something that's been really heartwarming for me. So I really want to thank everybody that has donated money to us to help us raise money, and to be able to say that we went from 1 school to 13 schools in the span of 9 months. So I'm really thankful for the donations, and also for all the volunteers that come in and help us out to put everything together and to be able to make this happen.
To all the people that give us money, I thank them.
I would like to thank everyone that participated and helped my family, especially my mom, throughout the process of making Yellow Boomerang.
Thank you so much, for all the donors to Yellow Boomerang, for your generosities, for all in-kind contributions, in-cash contributions that really make difference in the life of Afghan refugees.
I sincerely would like to thank all donors who helped Boomerang, and through Boomerang we have received all those supports, those helps, all in kinds that we have received.
And I just want to thank Anna for giving me this opportunity to help out with the community and do such amazing projects and see other people have smiles on their faces when they get some amazing treats.
Our school is extremely grateful for everything that Yellow Boomerang has done for us, and it wouldn't be possible without Yellow Boomerang and without the donors at Yellow Boomerang. So our school is extremely appreciative of just partnering with them and them being so willing and open to communicate and hear our ideas and our needs and being able to work together in that way.
I really wanted to thank all the folks, and these are friends, family, people in the neighborhood, and even in the broader community who donated for the Block Party for Good. Like I said, we raised around $20,000 for that event, which went to some amazing causes in the community. And we couldn't have done it without the support of all those friends, family members, and also a number of local businesses who were generous enough to donate either food or beverage or monetary donation and support. So thank you all.
One of the biggest components of Yellow Boomerang are the donors and volunteers that contribute. Without them, we wouldn't exist. As much as Anna and Fred are the driving force behind what we do, the donors have enabled us to really touch as many people as we have, and I'm grateful for all that they've done so far and look forward to working with them for many, many more years to come.
To our current donors, I say thank you. We couldn't have done any of this without you. To those considering donation, I say thank you for considering us. Please do donate. But to everybody, I say, come check us out. Send me an email, go on our website. We probably have the most pictures on our website than anyone else because I throw every picture up there. But one of the cool things that we do that I hope our donors can take advantage of is most of our projects take place on our driveway, and we do it that way on purpose so that anyone can walk by and see what's happening. Sure, I do a lot of stuff at midnight, boxes and all that, but the big projects, the food assembly, the backpack assembly, the clothes sorting, we try to do that outside so that people can see their money in action. So if you're considering donating to us, please give us a call. You can give to the general fund where we use it for whatever project we need next. If your heart really feels strongly that you want your money to go to a specific project, absolutely, we will do that. We cannot take one step forward without our donors. And to them, a huge heartfelt thank you.
So tell me, Jazz, what do you think about Yellow Boomerang? Has that interrupted your life?
Oh no, no surprises needed. What is this?
It's Santa's bag.
Oh, can I open it? Beautiful.
Just a little
This is
something.
amazing.